How's it going, guys? So we're back with another Dino TLC update video, and this is TLC update 2. Now, they haven't said there's going to be a TLC 3, so we'll have to see what's going on with that. Basically, what they're saying is they're going to be doing a lot of bug fixes and quality of life stuff with and after this TLC update. So we'll just have to see what's going on. But let's first check it out. So one of my favorite changes here is going to be the Argent. The Argent is always looked weird. Its fur kind of looked like, its feathers kind of looked like fur kind of looked like feathers on the mammoths. You know, they didn't quite have it. The new feathers that they have done are 1,000 times better, as you can see. Now, the other thing is, the Argent is, in fact, a prehistoric... Well, okay, let's not go into too much details because you guys are going to get super mad at me if you're a dino expert. They're supposed to be a vulture. And a lot of times they kind of just look like a weird scraggly eagle. So, as you can see, the new one looks amazing. It looks like a vulture, and that's just so nice. It looks how it should look. And it looks way meaner that way, too. It doesn't look as made up or derpy. Now, what changes are going to come with this? Well, we've got the new saddle. Ooh. This new saddle will receive reduced weight and let's see, reduced weight with obsidian and various other materials. So they're not going into too much detail there. And you can use the saddle as a smithy. So that's kind of cool, especially for vanilla, I would say. You can also carry 2 additional passengers with the RG. One in the claws and one in its beak. So heavier than current creatures will be able to be carried in its talons now. So that's kind of interesting. So they're actually giving the Argent more power. Hey, it's not realistic, but who cares? It makes the Argent really awesome. And the fact that you can carry smaller creatures in its beak, pretty awesome. The other thing is, it's a vulture, right? So if it eats a corpse, why not give it some rapid health regen? Well, there you go. Now the vulture is a aerial tank once again. Starting to dip down, go get that health bonus by chomping on a corpse. It's perfect. Next up, we've got the Spino. Now this is one that people have constantly been going after, saying, well, how come the Spino can't get up on its rear legs and walk on all fours and blah, blah, blah? Well, that's being fixed. So the Spino now has the ability to run on all fours, in which it will be much, much faster. Then it'll also be able to stand on 2 feet. Once on 2 legs, it's going to be slower, but be able to bite and fight with its claws. So as it's standing on, its back legs, it's going to be a way more formidable beast and battle creature, which is going to be totally awesome. The claws and bite will actually do more damage together. Then on the 4 legs, it's able to move faster and only able to bite like it currently can. It also looks a little bit smaller. I'm not 100% on the Spino. The way it looks, I feel like the face still needs a little bit more love, and he almost looks a little more rubbery now. I'm not 100%. I'm not sure, but you guys kind of sound off down in the comments how you feel about that. The other thing is the Spino is technically a water dino. Now, it's fast in water, but not really a whole lot. So the Spino now gets a buff when it's in water, a better turning speed, a faster attack, more attack damage actually, and it gets a health regen on top of all of that once it's in water, and keeps it for a short time of cooldown after exiting the water. So that's actually pretty awesome. The other thing, just like the berry, the Spino now wants prime fish for its main kibble, basically. So it's going to be over prime meat, of course. But, hey, I think that's pretty good. And the Spino has a lot of buffs. It's going to be, I think, way more valuable in combat, especially in water now. So go ahead and sound off down there, guys. How do you feel about the new Spino? Next up, but not last, we've got the Sarcosuchus, or as most people refer to it, as the Sarco. Now, the Sarco is that big, gnarly gator, and I've always kind of felt it looked really derpy. It almost looks like it has fake eyes. It had these weird, teeth things coming out of the front of its head. and or the front of its snout, I should say, and they fixed all of that. Its eyes look alive. It looks mean. Again, it looks more realistic and up to date, but otherwise they didn't really change it physically all that much. I was kind of, I don't know, I was hoping for it to just look a little scarier, but I don't know, maybe we just need to see it in game. It definitely looks a lot better, but all we really care about here is what is happening to the Sarco. Well, it's getting three new attacks. There's a grab and roll, also known as the famous death roll that all crocs and gators and all sorts of things are super famous for, and that's basically where they grab a creature and they spin and spin and spin with them underwater until they drowned, pretty much. So you're going to be able to grab smaller creatures with the Sarco and roll with them, while with larger creatures, I guess you grab onto them and spin. I don't know if this has to be in water. They're not being specific there, but there's that. Then there's going to be a 180-degree attack where it can attack something directly behind itself by swinging the body around and biting behind itself. So like this quick whip around that you see a lot of crocodiles do in nature films kind of thing. Just whoosh, you know, this thing that looks like a log all of a sudden comes to life with this sheer force of muscle, and it's terrifying. And the Sarcos have never really had that, so you know, the Caprasuchus jumps out and grabs you kind of thing, while the Sarco is going to have its own thing. And then lastly, a short lunge attack. It'll be able to lunge towards its prey and grab them by surprise. So that's the same kind of thing. It looks like a peaceful log, and then all of a sudden you're in its mouth. So very, very much more crocodile-like. I think the Sarco is going to be a lot more fun to play around with. Neat little buff it's getting. Sarco is a natural deterrent for piranhas. So while you're going through the water and you want to avoid all those pesky, annoying piranhas, Sarco will be perfect for that. Also, for taming, it's going to prefer fish over their counterpart, so, you know, prime fish instead of prime meat, fish instead of meat, etc., which is pretty cool. I guess it will also have a permanent, like, mouth open kind of resting animation, so you can just see all those pearly whites ready to grab something. So with all this, I'm hoping you can kind of set up the Sarco in a position where it can do like a lunge attack if someone tries to get too close to your base kind of thing. So definitely really cool. I'm pretty stoked about the Sarco. Let's go ahead and check out the final TLC Pass 2 creature that we're getting. Alright, next up we've got the Trike. Everyone loves the Trike. It's a really buff, strong beginning tame that can just kind of help get you situated. You can protect your base a bit. You can get berries. It's strong, you know? And I don't know how I feel about the new Trike. I really like the way the old one looked. This one is definitely meaner looking. It has like a don't mess with me angry bull look to it, but it also kind of has more of a parrot beak. I don't know. It's somewhere between looking like a Trike and not a Trike. I don't know. I don't know. You guys, I can't really pin it. It's something about the beak and the slimness of the face. It makes it look meaner, but it also makes it look a little bit weird. But I don't know. Regardless, again, great update. It looks like it's made for this more of a generation of games. It doesn't look as old and blocky. It's much more realistic. The textures pop. It's really nice. But, you know, that's not what you guys want to hear about. You want to hear what have they added to the Triceratops. So it is an early tame, as we talked about. So, you know, that doesn't need to be changed too much. But it needed something else. And, I mean, a Trike is a big horned creature. I just associate it with a bull. I'm sure lots of people do. How come the Trike has never had a running attack, right? You know, why can't it butt heads and impale things? And it just seems like it makes sense. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're adding a charge and ram attack to it. So it has a bit of a wind up, so that you know it's about to happen, and then it builds up speed and damage during that wind-up, and then you can just transfer all of that into the ram attack, and it will stun and damage the opponent. That's definitely really cool. So that's a really neat thing. They're also working on the herding instincts, I guess. I don't know. I feel like a lot of dinosaurs don't really herd, so hey, if that's something they're working on, definitely something I'm excited about. This interesting thing is the rivalry buff. This is going to be applied to all nearby ally trikes in range of large theropods and carnivores. So if there's big, you know, brontos or something, or carno or rex nearby, it increases their stats and damage about equal to a mate boost. And it also increases their wild aggro range as well. This makes it to where they kind of gang up together. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Don't know how much that's going to apply to like PvP or other things, but it'll be definitely interesting to watch in PvE and just seeing how they're interacting. But that pretty much does it for the Trike guys. So let's go ahead and check out the rest of them. All right, moving on, we've got the Utah Raptor, or Raptor for short, and it doesn't physically look a whole lot different. It's a little more mean, a little more updated, a more visceral, real look to it. The feathers, again, like with everything else with feathers, they've been done up much better. There's kind of heavier plumage on its front limbs, and that otherwise it doesn't look too different there, but it definitely is more vibrant and real looking, I think. So, Raptor is iconic, right? Jurassic Park, Jurassic World made them even bigger by naming them and, you know, attaching you to them somehow. They've always been a big thing in games that had to do with dinosaurs. So the Raptor had to be done something special, but they still wanted to stay as an early game tame. So you gotta, you know, work on that balancing there. Basically, the Raptor will be meant for scouting still, with, you know, the speed and mobility and blah, 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 blah. But they're now adding a pack bonus to it, because, you know, Raptors are supposed to be pack dinosaurs anyway, so why do just the direwolves and stuff get it? Well, Raptors got them now. So just like a lot of the other TLCs that have gotten like a pack bonus added to them, you can do a special vocalization or, you know, roar basically, and that makes the pack have a higher damage resistant, faster movement speed, and attack speed. It lasts for 15 seconds and has a 45-second cooldown. So that makes a Raptor a lot more valuable. I'd definitely say if you're in a group of friends and you're all Raptors, that helps even more. Now, here's the main thing that's killed me with Raptors. They're in the movies, even in the old Jurassic Parks, they jump on the wrecks and latch onto them and start biting and clawing and everything. How come we can't do that? Well, a lot of people are like, is it limited game mechanics? No, because there's been some mods out there have done it. So Ark themselves finally have given it a pounce. So smaller creatures will be pinned down by the pounce. So things like people, small tames, they'll be pinned and you can just dig into them. And then with a larger creature, you can actually like latch onto it. I'm assuming. I don't know. They haven't specifically shown it. It sounds almost like it's only going to be the pounce on small creatures. I hope you can latch onto the side of a Bronto or a Titan or something. Because, I mean, if modders have done it, come on. You can do it. But altogether, I think it's a pretty good buff to the Raptor. It looks, like I said, much more real, and I think they've done a really good job. All right, finally, we're here with the Parasaur. Yeah. Now, the Parasaur has always been kind of like a special thing in Ark, and I've never really understood why. It doesn't really do a whole lot. It's about half the sizes the creatures were estimated to be anyways, and it's kind of, you know, you tame one because you do, but that's kind of about it. Well, they're going to get quite used to them now. Now, you'll see there's a little bit of visual update, but nothing too special. It's more just kind of, you know, that bringing it to that current crisp and better realistic look to it, you know? But so, as they put it, the Parasaur has found its voice. So basically what it is a alarm system. Is basically what this thing's going to turn into. You can tell it to make a notification for different kinds of things. So what type of creature, you can put in a turret mode. And it basically can be also used by a player, like a roar. And it basically just lets you know things are around. But as you'll see, there's a little video clip that pops up that we're going to play here. It's like 11 seconds or so. You'll see it can also kind of startle things away. So, Pegamastics, Ichthyornis, things that steal from you, well, you've got the Parasaur. It can do its noise, and it will keep them away. It freaks them out. They don't want to go near it. It'll even repel raptors, as you saw in the clip. And it's just pretty cool. So that's really neat there. The other thing is the Parasaur has, like, I guess, a little, like, echolocation. It can tell players where, like, enemies and tames and wild dangers and stuff are even out of line of sight. So it's kind of like a, well, echolocation. You kind of have, like, a little radar when using one. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's basically a tripwire alarm, a echolocation radar, and a annoying creatures deterrent. So it definitely has a pretty neat thing. One last thing, it's not completely done. There is a little bit more. I just pointed at the screen like you guys can see me, like, hey, pointing to the screen, but that's not all. Like, I'm trying to sell you something. I don't even know. It's late, and this has been a tremendous video to do. So, anyhow, increased carry weight, allow you to carry even more stuff on it. It's going to be even better pack mule. And, yeah, which is pretty neat. And I believe they're adding the ability to attack while running. I didn't know you couldn't do that before, so, hey, that's pretty interesting there. So, guys, that does it for the TLC update. I hope you guys are pretty excited for it. Like I said, the ARC team said they're going to be working on more kind of quality of life fixes and adjustments from now on. Does that mean there's not a TLC number 3? Well, there's still lots of creatures they haven't touched that they said they would, like the turtle, the Carbonemses, whatever it's called. They once said they were going to touch it with the TLC. They're going to make it so it can pull into its shell and be a super tank, and I don't know. So we'll have to see. But they're not talking about a TLC 3. I'm hoping there's a TLC 3. I don't know about you guys. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this informed you. And we'll be back whenever there's some new information or DLC or any kind of stuff coming out for ARC. Have a good one.